Good evening and welcome to the Reno Virtual College Fair. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping announcements. First of all, my name is Gwen and I will be helping to facilitate this session over the next 45 minutes. But I just want to remind our attendees that your camera and your microphone will be off, so our panelists will not be able to see or hear you. Also, there is a Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, and this will allow you to ask our presenters questions throughout the next 45 minutes. Please do ask questions. They're here to help you and to provide you with information. Also, if you have a question for a specific institution, try to make note of that in your question. Otherwise, if you just have a general question, go ahead and leave it as such, and that will allow each of our institutions to answer based on their perspective. So this is just one of many different sessions that are taking place. So I hope that you'll take advantage of other sessions and sign up for those. But this presentation is being recorded along with all of the other StriveScan sessions as well. And those will be available within about a week at the same site where you did register for this particular program. So with that, I'd like to now go ahead and turn it over. Our first presenter tonight will be from Colorado Mesa University.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Mia, and I am the California and Nevada Admissions Counselor for Colorado Mesa University. Colorado Mesa is a beautiful, medium-sized public university located in Western Colorado in a beautiful city called Grand Junction. And if you're not familiar with Colorado, the state is basically a rectangle cut in half by the Rocky Mountains, and we are in the westernmost city of Colorado. So Grand Junction is about 30 minutes past the Utah border, and we are the largest city between Salt Lake City, Utah, and Denver, Colorado. On campus right now, we have about 11,000 students enrolled. So with that number, the majority is bachelor-seeking students. So we really put a lot of effort into getting our students the best undergraduate experience possible through academics, through student life, and of course, just making this great community that everybody feels really welcomed and has their place on campus that they get to contribute to. Right now, we have representation from 35 different countries and 47 different states on campus, which makes me so excited to see that growth. I love this campus. It is where I graduated from in 2016. So I love being a part of this journey and seeing all that it's grown to be. We currently have 114 majors on our campus, and across the board, what we stand for is applied learning, hands-on education experiences. So no matter what major you're going into, you are going to have that liberal arts core. And when you get into your classes for your major, chances are you're going to be spending very little time actually in the classroom, but more time working with local business leaders, doing project-based assignments, and working in a team setting. So you get really comfortable with the workplace and what's going to be expected of you before you even graduate, which I think is so awesome and definitely something that I took out of my experience here too. You can see some of our areas of study right here, and we'll go in depth on our most popular majors here soon. But just know for the most part, all of our majors are direct entry. Nursing, radiology, tech, and our teaching education programs are the only ones that are not direct entry. But with that being said, all of our programs you're able to graduate in 4 years. There's no impaction or anything like that. So to highlight a couple of our most renowned programs on campus, this picture that you see in the top left, that picture that looks kind of like a student just taking a picture of dirt, that is actually our Forensic Investigation Research Center. So if you're looking to get into criminal justice, the forensics, or even biology, this is going to be an amazing hands-on experience for you where you're going to get to work with human bodies. So the way it works is people that donate their bodies to science, our students in those fields get to work with them, do research, stuff that's creepy for a lot of us, but for some of us, it gives us exactly what we need. And a lot of students in their undergraduate level don't really get this kind of experience. So if that's you, if you've been excited about CSI, FBI opportunities, definitely consider Colorado Mesa. To the right of that, you see that picture of a dining room. That is actually the restaurant in our new teaching hotel that opened up on campus this semester. So it's 60 rooms right on campus, and it's pretty much 100% student ran. So Hospitality management students take care of the day-to-day operations in the hotel. Our culinary students are responsible for the restaurant in the hotel, which is a really nice steakhouse. And then kind of backtracking a little bit, our construction management students were the ones who built the hotel, built the plans for the hotel, and our graphic design students were the ones who did all the logo and design for the hotel. Bottom left picture, some happy nurses because we have such a great nursing program. Our nursing program, Health Sciences, is actually a hospital across the street from campus that the university purchased and renovated. So our students are actually getting to practice in that hospital setting before even moving into their clinicals. So again, they get really comfortable in their field of study. They get to work with those simulation dolls that talk, and you can take their vitals. So again, really creepy stuff for some people, but again, hands-on education is what we're all about. And then bottom right is one of our students in the kinesiology program, working with one of our athletes on the cycling team in the human performance lab. So if you're looking to get into kinesiology, exercise science, athletic training, you're getting to work with a lot of state-of-the-art technology, actually working with our athletes and helping them optimize their bodies before tournaments, races, and any games like that. So again, a very graduate level experience at an undergraduate level. And then when we talk about student life at Colorado Mesa, we're really big on being outside, being active, and getting you out there, even if it's something you've never done before. We're 40 minutes away from our nearest ski resort. We have 1,200 miles of hiking within an hour of campus. The Colorado River is 15 minutes away from campus. So if you like to be outside and like wide open spaces, definitely consider Colorado Mesa. Student life on campus is thriving as well. 190 clubs and organizations, political, religious, community service, anything you could possibly want to do, we probably have it. And then an amazing study abroad program that lets you study abroad for the same cost of tuition and fees that you would pay to study at Colorado Mesa. So it's kind of a no-brainer to do that. Division II athletics, 26 different teams, 23 club sports, so all types of ways to get active. And then to round it out with tuition, we are a WUI school. 2.5 GPA means that you get discounted tuition as a Nevada resident. So that brings your tuition down to $12,900 a year just for being a Nevada resident with a 2.5 GPA. Our merit scholarships are stackable on top of that with going up to $6,000 a year. And we are test optional this year. So if you weren't able to test, don't stress about it. We can still find a way to admit you. And thank you so much for joining us. And I will be in the chat if you have any more questions.
Great, thank you so much. So next up, we're going to hear from Lafayette College.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Williams. I am the Director of West Coast Admission for Lafayette College, and I happen to have the coolest email on campus. So willycat@lafayette.edu. Wish I had thought of it, I didn't. So who is Lafayette? Well, we're named after the Marquis de Lafayette, who's more than just a figure in Hamilton, which you can now see on the Disney Channel, who knew? 2,800 students, all undergrads. The Marquis de Lafayette was a pretty amazing guy, helped us win what we call our Revolutionary War, was an abolitionist, was a suffragist, and was a man whose motto was Cur Non, which is the same motto of the schools. Why not? So why not double major? Why not be involved in cross campus? Why not be an artist and an athlete, a researcher? You name it, you can do it. It's all here at Lafayette.
Kathleen, your screen is not being shared. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
No, it's not. I just want to make sure you get that up.
I did share it, so that's interesting. Okay, so let's try again. There's always something. So I did share it. Oh well, it's not. If it's not going to share, it's not going to share. It's just it's being persnickety. So it's because it says it is sharing. So I don't know what's happening. Let's give it a try again. It's okay. So
it's coming up. Okay.
Pardon?
It was coming up.
It was coming up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was.
I was getting your screen. So, okay. So we're located in Easton, Pennsylvania. So for you, the closest airport would be to fly into Newark. I'm just going to stop sharing.
You're there. Oh.
It doesn't matter. That's not what I wanted. So it's fine. So the closest airport is Newark. We are an hour and 5 minutes from there. Otherwise, Abe, which is 20 minutes away. Lafayette sits on the Delaware and Lehigh rivers. So if you're somebody who likes the outdoors, we absolutely have that for you. We are a school that does not admit by major. We have 4 different divisions. Engineering, which we've been doing for about 150 years, so long before it was cool to be an engineer. The natural sciences, the social sciences, and the humanities. Lafayette, we use the common application. So just as many other schools do, we have supplemental questions. What do you do and why do you do it? And why Lafayette? And we ask that because we are a residential campus in the truest sense of the word. 96% of the students live on campus all 4 years. They are involved in all sorts of different things. We're a Division I school, which surprises many to know that. Division I in the Patriot League. If you were to Google college football rivalries, Lafayette and Lehigh is the rivalry. It'll come up on a top 10 list. Because those 2 schools have played each other more times than any 2 schools in the nation. They played their 150th game at Yankee Stadium to a sold out crowd, with the Empire State Building lit up on one side with Lafayette colors and on the other side with Lehigh colors. So if you're interested in that kind of school spirit, we definitely have it. At 2,700 students, you definitely don't need Greek life, but it is an option for you at Lafayette. We have 6 sororities and 6 fraternities. It's there for you, but it is not dominant. About 1/3 of our students will be involved in that. If you're thinking medical school, well, if you graduate from Lafayette with a 3.6 or above, you have a 74% chance of getting accepted. If you graduate with a 3.2 to a 3.59, it drops to 64%. We are in the 90 percentiles for getting into law school and have put our students over the last 3 years in the top 15 law schools in this country, with the exception of Yale. So they're getting into Harvard, they're getting into Stanford, etc. So much awaits you here at Lafayette. You're given an academic advisor, a career counselor, and you'll have an older student, a partner, because we are the leopards who will help you. The average class size is 18.6. We are one of the few schools in the country that meets 100% of demonstrated financial need. So you need to fill out the FAFSA and the CSS profile. We also have a number of scholarships, merit scholarships that are full tuition, quarter tuition, and half tuition. We also have an ROTC. If you are a ROTC recipient, we are an Army ROTC school. We also, of course, have Division I scholarships. All research opportunities are yours and yours alone at Lafayette, because of course you're not competing with grad students since we don't have any. That's the same reason that you'll always be taught by professors and not by grad students, again, because we don't have them. Our deadlines for applying, we're an early decision school, so early decision 1 is November 15th. Regular decision is January 15th. If you decide to convert your application to early decision 2, you have to have applied by January 15th, and you must let us know by February 1st. We do a number of virtual events right now. You can meet with students, you can meet with faculty who will do presentations, and you can do all sorts of interaction with us and come to campus right now. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us, and certainly don't hesitate to reach out to me. Lastly, in reviewing your common application, we're going to do that holistically, and we highly recommend interviews, which you can set up now. So thank you. Sorry for the technical difficulties. It's never easy in this virtual world.
All right. Thank you, Lafayette College. Next up, we're going to hear from University of Minnesota Twin Cities.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rachel Tanner. I'm the National Recruitment Coordinator for the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. We are a large public institution in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the flagship institution for the Minnesota System campuses. We're right nestled in between the downtown of both Minneapolis and St. Paul, so you're not looking up at skyscrapers as you go to class, we're always looking at them. This photo is the main part of campus. You've catch this train 10 minutes this way, that's the downtown of Minneapolis. 20 minutes the other way is the downtown of St. Paul. So it's a really unique environment for such a big school because we're Big Ten athletics, so Division I, and we're very much our own neighborhood within Minneapolis. So high level statistics, you have Division I athletics, 31,000 undergraduate students. We're tier 1 for research. We have 150 majors, 130 minors, and we're a land grant institution. So we do work to bring students breadth and depth. We have 100, like I said, 150 majors, 130 minors. You can even create your own major at Minnesota if you can't decide on just one. We also have a number of graduate professional programs on campus. If you're somebody who's considering law school, medical school, veterinary school, OT, PT, anything like that, we have those programs right on campus. So we can start giving you that pre-professional advising right away your freshman year. That way you're on track academically, but also taking advantage of other opportunities on campus, like volunteering at the hospital on campus or doing research. Being tier 1 and land grant, 90% of the research happening in the state of Minnesota comes through our campus. So you can start that as early as freshman year by partnering with faculty members already doing it. And then your second year, you can actually submit your own research proposal. So if there's a question you've always wanted the answer to, you submit that to our undergraduate research opportunities program, and we'll give you funding to do the research yourself. Despite the large size, we try to keep those class sizes small. So 80% of all classes are 50 students or less, 65% of all classes are 30 students or less. So your major classes are going to be 20 to 30. The big classes are generals, but we're always going to pair those with a discussion or lab. So you have some time in a smaller group setting, about 25 students to ask those questions and get that academic support. When we admit students into the University of Minnesota, we admit them directly into one of our 8 freshman admitting colleges. We do this for a couple of reasons. We know we're a big school, so we want you to start out in a smaller community of scholars that share some sort of academic interest with you. We also do it though so you know you have access to the program that you want. That way, if you really know you want a specific engineering program or business program, you can start taking those classes right away. I took my first major class my first semester of my freshman year. And also help you figure out if that is the right fit for you. And if it's not, you can always switch around. That's no problem. Each college has designed their own first year experience program to help students explore, and then they typically declare in their second year. So some of our most popular majors will be neuroscience, genetics, our direct entry nursing, our product design, architecture, animal science, our sport management program, and then of course our engineering programs. We have aerospace, biomedical, mechanical, astrophysics, and data science. And then our business school is number 18 in the world. So anything in that program is phenomenal too. Like a good big school, we have a lot of opportunities for y'all to get involved outside the classroom. Over 900 student organizations on campus, 200 of those are student cultural groups. And we have 12 student cultural centers. So identity-based organizations, interest-based, pre-professional, volunteer, religious-based. You can go Greek if you want to rush a sorority fraternity, intramural sports, or you can just be a super fan for the Gophers. Those 20 Division I sports teams on campus are a lot of fun. We're the only D1 programs in the state of Minnesota, so everybody's a Golden Gopher fan to some extent. We have a massive study abroad program. In fact, our business school requires students study abroad, so we really do try to make it work for every degree program, including engineering. You can go for a week, a full semester, a full year. The choice is yours, but we do have programs set up for every degree. Now, our campus community is really unique because you still get that quintessential college town feel, because the communities that surround us, Dinkytown and Stadium Village, are really student driven. It's where the coffee shops are open later around finals. It's where the pizza places are open all night. It's where the homecoming parade goes through. So you still feel like you're on a college campus, but you are in a metropolitan area. We're just outside the downtown of Minnesota's 2 largest cities, which gives our students a huge professional advantage in terms of opportunities for internships and jobs. There are 16 Fortune 500 companies headquartered in Minneapolis-St. Paul. So places like Target, 3M, Cargill, Medtronic, Boston Scientific are constantly recruiting of our programs because we're right there. So you can have those internships throughout the school year. You do not necessarily have to wait till over the summer, which really helps our students get jobs, of course, in the Midwest, but those are big names recognized across the country. So if you want to come and try the 4 seasons, then go back, you certainly can. Minneapolis-St. Paul is a nice sized city where there's plenty to do, but it's not going to feel huge. We're not a concrete jungle. We do have 6 professional sports teams all on that train ride, museums, concert venues, both in and around campus. And it's a green city. There's a chain of lakes that runs right through Minneapolis. So the same place where you can go kayaking, skiing, and biking around in the summer. You can try ice fishing, ice skating, and go to the pond hockey tournaments in the winter too. Our location makes it fairly easy to get to as an out-of-state student. Minneapolis-St. Paul is a large airport. Once you get there, you just go downstairs, catch a train. That's the same train that runs through campus. Otherwise, it's about a 15 to 20 minute cab ride. Now, of course, coming to college is a huge commitment of your time and your money. We work to be a great value institution. A large part of being named a great value by Forbes was our retention rate. 93% of our first year students come back their second year, which means we're a good fit financially, academically, and socially for them. Our tuition and fees are listed here. We do automatically consider all students for academic merit-based scholarships. So for out-of-state students, those range from $2,500 and they go up to $15,000 each year for all 4 years. So if you want to apply to Minnesota, there's no extra application. Once you apply once, you're automatically considered for admission, for honors, and for all of those scholarships that we talked about. We try to keep the application process fairly straightforward. We don't require letters of recommendation, and we do not require essays. All that we need from you is the application itself, either through Common or the Golden Gopher application, $55 application fee, and then just self-report your grades and courses. So no transcript required, just let us know how you did. If you're a senior this year, we have gone no test required, not test preferred, just no test required. So if you haven't had the chance to take it, no problem. Just send it in without a test score and you still have full consideration for everything. So you can see our deadlines here, but I'd love to connect with you if you have questions. But for now, I'll pass it off. Thank you so much for your time.
All right. Thank you so much. So just a reminder to our attendees, the Q&A feature is live. So definitely put your questions out there so our presenters can answer those for you. So the next school that we're going to hear from is St. Edward's University.
Forgot to unmute. Hi, everyone. My name is Dinah Kennard. I am at St. Edward's University, which is located in Austin, Texas. I'm very excited to be with you guys tonight and tell you a little bit more about my school. We have 3,400 undergraduate students, so we're kind of a large, small school. We have very small classes, 18 is the average class size. You really get to know your professors. We're Division II in athletics. We have over 50 different areas of study, and I'll talk a little bit more about majors in a moment. While we are in the middle of a very large state like the state of Texas, we do have a lot of students that come from all over the country and all over the world. So there's a lot of Texans at St. Edward's. About 70% of our student population is Texan, coming from all parts of the state, but about 30% of our student population hails from all over. So we would love to have some more Nevadans at St. Edward's for sure. So let me tell you a little bit about Austin, because I always say that kind of where a school is located really does shape your experience in a lot of ways. Austin is one of the best cities in the country that you could live in to go to college or really live in at any point. It's a fantastic city. It's dynamic, it's energetic, it's a big tech capital, it's a very creative city. It's very progressive and open-minded and cosmopolitan. A lot of people have moved to Austin over the last 20 years, especially from California and the West Coast. So we are now the 11th largest city in the country. But even though we've grown a lot as a city, Austin still retains kind of a small town feel, and that people are really friendly, really take the time to enjoy the city and enjoy connecting with each other. Normally, when it's not quarantine, we have a big live music scene here in Austin, and it definitely it shapes the experience here in our city. Our campus is located just 3 miles from downtown Austin, so we're really in the heart of the city. You might remember from the slide before, we have lots and lots of trees on our campus. So we're on an entire hilltop 3 miles from downtown. So it feels like you're in like a little oasis when you're on our campus, but you are in the middle of Austin. So you kind of have the best of both worlds if you want an urban campus experience, but you still want to be on a campus that feels very pastoral, bucolic, and kind of traditional liberal arts residential college experience. There are lots of different things to study at St. Edward's. Our biggest programs are psychology, business, biology, computer science, and communication. But we have a lot of unique programs too. And I'll show you kind of a list of majors. You might see something you like. One of our new majors is animation, as well as an environmental biology and climate change major that we just introduced this fall. We have a lot of students that come to us from all over the country to study video game development. Austin is home to a lot of big video game development companies. And then we have fantastic programs in theater, graphic design, forensic science, a lot of programs that you might not expect at a university of our size. A little bit about our Catholic character. We are a Catholic university. We're founded by the Congregation of Holy Cross. In fact, the very same priest that founded the University of Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana, founded St. Edward's a few years later in 1885. So we've been around a while. The Holy Cross tradition is really about educating the student's heart and mind, that we believe that both are important. So I always say that St. Edward's is the kind of school that doesn't tell students what to think, but really encourages students to think for themselves and to develop their own moral compass through acts of service. So we give students a lot of opportunities to really get involved in issues and projects and purposes that are really important to them. And our community of over 3,400 students gave over 70,000 hours of their time last year, which I think is just really a testament to the character of our student body. A little bit about housing. You do live on campus when you come to St. Edward's as a freshman. We have 6 different residence halls to choose from. So our campus is not a commuter campus. It's home for students. You get to choose which hall you'd like to live in and who you'd like to live with. So you get a lot of choice in the matter. Of course, sometimes students want to move off campus after freshman year, but if you choose to live on campus for multiple years, you can. And we do have apartments on campus, as well as other residential facilities for upperclassmen. A little bit about the application process. So there are several ways you can apply to St. Edward's. The most common is the common application. So most students will use the common application to apply to St. Ed's. That might be what you're considering as well. The Apply Texas application is typically something that students who are applying to public schools within the state of Texas will use, because that's required to apply to UT Austin and other public schools. But the common application, essentially there's a short supplement, but you don't have to write an additional essay. So you submit the one essay that you want to submit from the Common App. You submit your official high school transcript, and then one letter of recommendation from a teacher or counselor. So test scores are not required. St. Edward's is test optional, and we are permanently test optional. So if you're not a senior in high school right now and you're looking ahead to next year or even the year after to apply to college, at St. Edward's, you're not required to submit a test score anymore. We will consider your application based on your high school record and the courses that you've taken, your GPA, and how you've done in what you've contributed outside of the classroom as well. Of course, it's a very holistic review. We have a rolling admission process, which means that we review applications as we receive them, and anyone who applies by December 1st doesn't have to pay an application fee. So a good reason to get your application in within the next 6 weeks or so. You will automatically be considered for merit-based scholarship. Those go up to $26,000 for general merit scholarship. And then we add an additional $5,000 per year on top of that if you're from outside of the state of Texas. It's our way of helping you to kind of discount the cost of attendance even further, knowing that you have to travel farther to come to St. Edward's. I would encourage you to go ahead and connect with with current students through our ZME community. It's a great way since many of us right now are unable to travel and visit colleges in person. And then if you have any questions for me or any of us at St. Edward's, we're happy to connect with you at any time. You can email admit@stedwards.edu and you'll get to us. Thank you so much for your time and your attention.
Great, thank you so much. Next up, we're going to hear from Nova Southeastern University.
Hi everyone, my name is Christopher Rogers. I'm one of the admissions counselors here at Nova Southeastern University, and we are a private selective research university that has about 5,600 undergraduate students, and that averages out to about 17 students per class. In terms of diversity on campus, we have students from all 50 states, as well as students from over 100 different countries on our campus. These are our 9 areas of study. So depending on what major you choose, you're going to fall into one of these areas of study. Our biggest areas of study are by far medicine. About 50% of our students come on some type of pre-medical track. But other than that, marine biology is big business, education, criminal justice, and psychology round out the top 5. Now I'm going to get into what we call our premier programs. And the first one I'm going to talk about is our Razor's Edge Scholarship Program. That is a 4-year residential scholarship program. And there's 5 different tracks, which you can see there on the bottom of your screen. Global is for students that are interested on the international side of studies. Research are for students who want to do research in their 4 years at NSU. It guarantees you to do some type of research at the undergraduate level. You have Shark Talent for students interested in the arts, whether it be music, theater, dance, studio art, and then Shark Teaches for education majors. We also offer dual admission at NSU, so if you have a good idea of what type of graduate school program you'd like to attend after you receive your bachelor's, you can actually apply during your senior year of high school and reserve your seat. And if you're offered a spot, you'll slide right into the program as long as you meet some minimum requirements. So if you're interested in med school or law school, you can actually apply right now during your senior year. The next program I'm going to talk about is an accelerated program called the Fischler Academy. It's for education majors. You're going to get your bachelor's and your master's in education in just 4 years. And upon graduation, you're going to have a guaranteed teaching job in the state of Florida. And then this next program is my favorite. It's called Huizenga Business Innovation Academy, another accelerated program. So you'll get your bachelor's and your MBA in just 4 years. Upon graduation, you can actually pitch a business idea, and we can offer you up to $20,000 in startup funds. And then within this program, there's a sub program called Shark Cage, where you'll actually be starting an on-campus business. So we're going to give you $5,000 to do that. You're going to have what we call innovation hubs on the first floor of our residence hall, which are basically storefronts at the center of campus that are going to allow you to run your business out of. If you're interested in any of those programs, you first have to apply to the university using the Common App or the Shark Select app, which can be found on our website. Then you'd have to submit a separate application called the Premier Programs application, and then we'll invite you to be interviewed for those programs. Typically, those interviews would take place on campus. This year, they're going to be virtual, but it's definitely a great opportunity for some pretty cool scholarship opportunities. In terms of what students do on campus, we have over 120 clubs and organizations, and 99% of our students are involved in at least one. So I always get the question, what type of student are we looking for at NSU? We're looking for students who have already participated at the high school level, who are going to continue that tradition of participation on our campus. We are Division II athletic school. We have some great sports programs. Our baseball team won a national championship in 2016. Our basketball teams, both men and women, are always ranked in the top 10 to start the year. And we, however, do not have a collegiate football team, but the Miami Dolphins are actually located on campus. So their practice facilities, their headquarters are there. And our students actually get a lot of opportunities to intern with them, whether you want to get on the business side of a sports program or sports team, you can do that. But there's so many cool opportunities. Students interested in physical therapy get to shadow the trainers for the Miami Dolphins. And the partnership is a lot of fun as well because we are located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, which is on the southeastern part of the state. It's a pretty amazing place to live. It's a really cool place to hang out for our students, and we are 3 hours, too much studying to do. You take advantage of going to Disney World, Universal Studios. These are the scholarships we offer at NSU. The first scholarship is our Dean's Scholarship. Any student who's admitted will receive scholarship. It's anywhere from $5,000 to $19,000 November 1st, and then regular decision deadline is February 1st. And that's it from me. Here's my contact information if you want to take this down, if you have any questions after you leave here tonight. If not, feel free to ask during the Q&A, and I'm going to pass it off to the next school. Thanks for listening.
All right. Our final presenter tonight is from Florida Southern College.
And that's me. Hi, everyone. My name's Shannon Barnes. I'm one of the admissions counselors at Florida Southern College, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. So unlike Nova Southeastern, Florida Southern is actually not in South Florida, despite the name. We're actually right in the middle of the state in a town called Lakeland. We're in a town of about 110,000, and the school itself is about 3,000 students. Of those, about 2,500 are undergraduates. So definitely a small college environment, heavily focused on the undergraduate experience. And that's true kind of regardless of what you're choosing to major in. We consider ourselves a comprehensive college with a liberal arts core. So you'll apply to the college as a whole rather than applying to one of these particular schools. If you are looking at a couple of majors like the direct entry nursing program or the musical theater programs, you'll apply to those majors, but otherwise you'll just indicate which major you're looking at. Florida Southern historically sees a really strong number of students in areas like biology, marine biology, biochemistry and molecular biology, exercise science, anything in the medical field is really popular for our students. We also see a lot of students come through for like criminology, psychology. We see a strong business school participation, have historically had one of the top education programs in the state. So we really cover a lot of ground. But regardless of what you're studying, one of the things that we really emphasize is being really hands-on with your learning and making sure that you get a chance to do research and do like conference presentations. It's not uncommon for our students to publish before they graduate. You don't have to be part of the honors program to do that, but I always like to mention it for students who are thinking about having an additional challenge in their college experience. The honors program is a separate application, but is test optional for this year. So it's definitely open to you regardless of kind of what your experiences in the last kind of crazy year of COVID have been. Florida Southern's big claim to fame is that we really want to make sure that there's kind of 3 things that you experience during your time at FSC that we think kind of form the backbone of your college experience. So that's number 1, we want to make sure that you get a chance to study abroad. That's guaranteed to you regardless of what you're majoring in, regardless of what you're planning on doing post-college. We want to make sure that you are going to get the chance to travel abroad, and that's actually kind of baked into your tuition. You get a credit after your 2nd year to use towards the cost of one of our study abroad trips. The next big one is guaranteed internships. We work really, really hard to make sure that students get the chance to dive into internship experiences, whether that's here in Lakeland with places like Publix supermarkets and being part of the Fortune 500 companies here in Lakeland, in Tampa or Orlando, because both of those are about 45 minutes to an hour away. So they're close enough that you can definitely get into the big city for those. We're also partnered with places like the Washington Center in DC. We have partnerships in Wall Street, and we've even had students do internships in places like the Philippines. So we have a pretty wide network for you to explore and kind of develop your professional interests. And then the last big one is that we want to make sure you're going to graduate on time. So Florida Southern has a very, very strong record of getting students to either continue on to graduate school, give or take about 1/3 of our students will continue on to some form of graduate education, or placed into jobs. We're a residential school. You can see down there in the bottom left, we're a super beautiful campus located right across the street from Lake Hollingsworth. So if you have some free time, you can rent like hammocks and paddle boards and stuff for free with your student ID and just get out and enjoy the Central Florida sunshine. You're guaranteed housing for all 4 years, and most students will move into the apartments that the college owns after like junior and senior year. Athletics wise, we are a Division II school, so if you're interested in getting in contact with one of the coaches, definitely let me know. Otherwise, we have a couple different club sports that are active, including things like esports and equestrian, as well as an ice hockey arena. And we're also very strong in terms of intramural participation. We have a lot of students who get involved with intramural club sports on campus. But if sports aren't your jam, there's plenty of other ways to get involved. So whether it's going into Greek life, give or take about 1/3 of our students will be involved in Greek life, getting involved in campus ministries or any one of the other like clubs and organizations that the college has. We really emphasize students being able to get involved in campus and form that community with the rest of their cohort of people who are living and working and developing alongside you. Applications, we are on the common application and the coalition application, and we are a free application. So you shouldn't need to pay anything to apply to Florida Southern. The application will require a copy of your high school transcript, but we are test optional for this year for both scholarships and admission. Letter of recommendation wise, I know that I've heard a lot of students say that they're having trouble accessing those because of the general state of the world. So that is waived this year. You can definitely still submit one, and I would love to see one if you have one. But if you are having trouble getting your counselor or a teacher to write you a recommendation letter, come talk to me. That's not an issue. We do require a personal essay, but don't require any sort of supplements. And you can kind of see the middle 50% for our admission from last year there as well. I mentioned scholarships. We do automatically evaluate you for scholarships when you apply to Florida Southern. There's a separate application for our prestige scholarship programs, which can cover up to full costs. So if you have questions about those, definitely let me know. If you are an athlete, an artist, a musician, if you are involved in particular theatrical traditions, there are also talent scholarships available for you as well. So I will leave you with a quick plug to visit the virtual visit options, and there's my contact information.
All right, thank you so much. So we have about 5 minutes left. That was the end of our presentation. So with a few minutes left, I'm going to ask each of our presenters to go ahead and come back on camera and just to kind of leave a final thought with each of you. If you wouldn't mind just taking maybe 30, 45 seconds to answer something that you think is that makes your school unique, or perhaps a fun school tradition that your institution does. So we'll go ahead and start in the same order that we started with. So how about Colorado Mesa University? Why don't you start us off?
Awesome. I think that one really cool tradition we have at Colorado Mesa is every club and organization kind of at a separate time. We have the Grand Mesa National Forest about 30 minutes away from campus. And there are about 1,000 natural glacier lakes on it. So each club will go and swim across these glacier lakes before the start of the school year. It's not the most fun, but it's exciting to say that you've done it.
Lafayette College?
Yep. So at Lafayette, one of the most popular traditions that we have are the 1,000 nights, 100 night dance. So as a first year student, 1,000 nights before graduation, there's a huge dance just for you, the first year class. And then 100 nights before graduation, there's a huge dance just for you, the seniors, as you are about to embark on the rest of your life. And students will go back to their residence halls beforehand to pre-game or pre-party or whatever you want to call it for their senior year, but it's a great tradition.
Perfect. With the University of Minnesota, my favorite tradition as a student and still is our spring jam. So it's a couple weeks before finals when the weather in Minnesota is turning warm again. We host a series of concerts and a carnival right on campus where there's games and vendors and rides, and then concerts starting every day of the week. So all the way from a battle of the bands for our student bands, but also then bringing big artists like Lizzo on. So it's a blast. It's a nice way for students to get outside and let loose a little bit before they buckle down for finals.
Hard to compete with Lizzo. So one of my favorite traditions at St. Edward's is these red doors that are actually that are not actually behind me, but are appearing to be behind me. These are the red doors of our main building, which is the most prominent building on campus. It looks like a castle. And we have this thing called Legacy Walk. So when you come in as a freshman, you walk into these red doors, which takes you into the center of campus. You receive a nice medallion that has the university seal on it. And it's kind of your induction into the university community, into becoming a St. Edward's Hilltopper. And then fast forward 4 years later, when you graduate, you walk out of these red doors. You're then facing the beautiful skyline of downtown Austin. Your parents are waiting for you. It's part of our commencement ceremony. And 4 years later, you're old enough to have a champagne toast. So you get to have champagne afterwards at the other end of the Legacy Walk. So Legacy Walk's one of my favorites.
My favorite tradition at NSU is during homecoming week, we have a event called the Anything Floats Boat Race, which where students will go around campus, they'll find a bunch of supplies to build a boat or a raft and try to canoe across the lake. They call it Anything Floats Boat Race, but everybody sinks. It's absolutely hilarious to watch. I was super excited because the undergrad admissions team was able to secure a spot in the race this year, but it was canceled. It would have been the first time we were able to participate, but there's always next year.
I think for us, one of the other reasons that people know about Florida Southern is we're actually the largest single site collection of Frank Lloyd Wright architecture in the world. So we have this very cool fountain called the Water Dome. And when the jets are on, it's actually as tall as our library. So senior year, we do this thing called Senior Splash, where you get to go in and have a pool party in the Water Dome. So it's pretty hard to beat getting a chance to have a pool party in a National Historic Landmark.
All right. Very good. Thank you for sharing those. So this concludes our time together. I just want to go ahead and kind of bring up our final slide here. Just want to thank each of you for being here tonight, especially our presenters. Thank our attendees for joining us as well. When you close out of this window, there will be a link to a quick 4-question survey. We do hope that you'll complete the survey and provide us with feedback, how we can better improve these programs. Also, just a reminder that this is one of many different sessions that are being offered. So definitely check out other sessions and sign up for those. And then if you want to go back and listen to this recording, that will be available in about a week. Or if there are other sessions that maybe you didn't get to and you want to go back and listen to those those will be accessible also at the same place where you registered for this particular program. So with that being said, this concludes our time together. And so again, thank you to each of our presenters for being here. Thank you to our attendees, and I hope you have a great rest of the evening. Thank you.